everyone, it's Trisha the Lumber Lady. I have a quick tutorial to show you my cute Easter frame that I came up with. Really inexpensive, easy thing to do. I just used some plastic Easter eggs dyed and some twine and 1x2 wood. So I will show you how I made it. Alright, so for this project I was walking down the Easter aisle in Walmart, all the Easter decorations and Easter baskets and stuff, and I saw a dozen white plastic eggs. They look just like a real dozen eggs, but they're plastic, but they're also dyeable. So I was thinking of doing this project with those wooden eggs, but they're so heavy and I thought these will work perfect. So I got them and I got a dye package for my kids and we went and we dyed our eggs. The one hard part with them is they're so lightweight, they don't sink like normal eggs, so you have to hold them down in the dye, but it worked out. So once my eggs were all dyed and dried, I needed to drill a hole in the top of all the eggs. So I got my smallest drill bit that I had and I just drilled a hole in the top of all the eggs. Then I bought these screw eyes. And they're pretty tiny. I got the smallest I could and I just twisted them into my drilled hole and they just screw right in and my egg is done. So I did that with all of my eggs here, and then I just took some twine, string, whatever you want, and threaded it through the top of my eggs. And I had 2 rows. So my first row is 5 eggs. I'm going to put happy with vinyl on the front of them, and HAPPY. I'm going to wait until I'm all done and have it hanging in my frames so that they're all centered and not off when I hang them. And then the second row has 6 eggs for Easter. So my eggs are all done and ready. So next I went to my frames. I decided to do a double frame, but I only used 1x2s, which is really nice. So my first frame, I cut out, it's almost square. I believe my measurements, my inside measurements for the width was 10 inches, so from here to here is 10 inches, and for my height I did 9 inches. So very close to square. You could do square if you want, and I just cut 45-degree angles and put my frame together. Now, for my outside frame, I wanted it kind of like a shadow box so that it would stand alone if we wanted to, and it'd be a little bit different from the inside frame. So still 1x2s, but instead of laying it flat on the saw, I stood it up like this and cut my 45s this way. So then I have my box. Now, when I was cutting, you will notice, and you can zoom in, but this angle and this angle, they all line up. You could, if you wanted to, put this one up and this one down on your saw and cut them. I just measured, and so this, let me get it back out here. So the outside measurements of this should be the same as the inside measurements of this one. And then they will fit together. And by making this sort of type of frame, it kind of gives it a, like this is a mat to the art, and I like that. And you can choose to slide this up further. It just gives it some dimension. You can have it slid to the very back like this. So that's how you put that together. And I just glued and used my brad nailer and just put nails in, just like that. Okay, so now on the painting. On my outside shadow box, I used an old 1x2, and I liked the old look to it. So I think I'm just gonna leave it the normal wood finish. The inside, I decided I wanted to paint it yellow. So I painted it yellow and I hated it. So I went and I painted over it white, and then I sanded it down. And when I sanded it down, some of that yellow came shining through. But I didn't mind that. I actually liked it. It gave it some texture. Then I also, when I sanded the edges so that it was exposed wood, and I just took some gel stain and I put some stain on the edges. So I just would take my gel stain and just ran it along the edges and wiped it off. And where the exposed wood is, it sucks up that stain, but if it gets on the paint, it wipes off pretty good. And so I went and stained all my edges, and I really liked it. So now this frame is done, and this frame is done. All I need to do is glue them in together, and I can just glue them in with some wood glue. I could also stick some brad nails in it to hold it also. But that's all I have to do for that, and then I'm going to go and attach my eggs and my vinyl, and I will be back. Alright, so now after some trial and error, I will tell you what I ended up doing for my lettering. I was going to just staple it on the back, but my eye screws, I bought 2 packages of 8, so I had 16 eye screws. So I had 4 or 5 left over. So I tried, and you can zoom in here, I just screwed in 4 eye screws to my inside frame here and threaded my twine through, and then I just tied me a knot and made sure they were hanging good. And so there, I just did 4 knots. Then for my lettering, I let them all hang, and then I placed my vinyl on to make sure that it hung good, and it worked out great. Another trial and error I thought I'd tell you about, when I was gluing my inside frame into my outside frame, I decided to go flush with the back, which I really liked, except for when I went to stand it up, it was back heavy and it won't stand by itself because all the weight is in the back. So if you're wanting it to be freestanding, take that into account and move your inside frame up to the center so that your weight will be balanced more and it'll stand on its own. I love how it turned out, and I am really excited about it. So if you like what you see, be sure to check out my blog for other tutorials. It's thelumberlady.com. I'm also on Pinterest and Instagram and Facebook, and I have lots of other video tutorials on my YouTube channel. So be sure to go check those out. We'll see you later.